just want to start. So I'm going to start with a couple questions, and we'll throw out to you guys. I'm sure you have plenty. First rule Q&As. If there's a bad question, we will say stop in the middle of it. Don't. You ask a question. It's a question that ends with a question mark at the end. Lift up.
Nice.
So let's keep it that way. Let's respect these fellas. They come on this fight for this. So let's start off. So this documentary. Max at the beginning was talking about how there were just rumors about how long you guys were putting it together, and just the time it took, and just wondering, it's like becoming this sort of urban legend. Is are you guys getting back together? There's a documentary coming out, and I was just curious how much has changed since this has been released, and since you guys have gone back and gone playing shows together.
Well, 10 years at least have changed. And as you get older, 10 years becomes more and more significant, I think. You know what I'm talking about.
Or less significant as it becomes a smaller percentage of your whole lifetime.
What's 10 years?
That's math.
This is a good point.
But clearly we had no intention of reforming
Of course.
during the making of this. In fact, that was an impossibility until just before it came out.
Yeah, and
Well, you were involved a lot more with the production end of it, right? You were in touch with those guys a lot more.
Yeah, I was in touch with the filmmakers, Keith and them, for a while, and I gave them our whole archive and just all the flyers and posters and all of my footage that I shot and my photographs and anything that any of you guys sent to me probably made it in there. I keep meeting people who are like, oh yeah, I shot that thing at that show and it made the film. So yeah, it was, I can't even tell you, my kid in that movie is the one playing the drum. She's a senior in high school now.
Wow.
And the older is a senior in college. So, I mean, and it was a year before that, you know.
And that sort of time capsule quality, I think, absolutely shows. And I'm also just curious too, as you get to this stage, and you're looking at your career, and you see this narrative form, especially about the direction of punk music, you guys, and how big a deal it was when you guys signed with the major label. I was just curious how you feel the industry has moved in a certain direction. How do you guys feel about sort of the current wave of what your music has kind of brought to the table? Or not. So that was a really bad question. I should follow my
I
own
assume
rules.
there's a degree of awareness of contemporary music that I don't have.
I'm gonna kick it out to y'all.
Was that a negative confirmation?
No, it was good. No, it was
No,
good.
you know what?
Non-denial.
We're all waiting for the other guy to answer. That's the problem.
Well, sure. Well,
I'll say something about
yeah,
that.
go for it.
But you have to say the question
Yeah,
again.
I'm so sorry. I mean, this doc, you guys were talking about, the time capsule quality of this. You're seeing sort of the narrative of your band play out in such a way where you see this sort of history of punk and how it became more mainstream. And you see that it's sort of filtered into this, especially with Green Day did and so on and so forth. I'm just kind of curious what your thoughts are on the type of music that you guys were really forging with, and how you feel that it's kind of coalesced at this point in time.
You know, no one in this band we never really knew exactly what we were. I mean, we knew what we were trying to do, but it's so. I mean, even looking back, it's impossible to have any real perspective on it, or to put it in a. I mean, when you said career, that jumped out at me because we never thought we were in a career. You know what I mean? And the music industry has obviously changed so much in the last year, 10 years, 20 years, that it bears no resemblance to what we were dealing with.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like to see, do you guys have any feelings or thoughts on that? Or?
Well, I was going to say that interestingly enough, I mean, you're talking about it as if it's a continual development of one strain, but in point of fact, with the stuff that I've been involved with in the Northwest out in Olympia and stuff, it's like there's still kids doing DIY basement shows, the way there's a whole new generation of hardcore coming up, and it's all, I mean, it has nothing to do with this whatever trajectory you're talking about.
Blake, you have any thoughts?
No, I would echo what Chris said. In Brooklyn, where I live, there's house shows and there's a totally vibrant punk scene that doesn't in any way resemble the commercial, what I guess people who don't have access to that see. I don't have any relationship to contemporary American punk music. I don't know what it is, really. I've tried. I really do. I go online and look at things, but I haven't connected with anything.
That's awesome. I would like to throw this out to the audience. Does anybody have a question? Yes, Eunice.
I guess like what I've wondered since the reunion was announced for Riot Fest is like knowing what you know now, like with how much it kind of wrecked things, but with also how much it's really impacted people and how important it is to people, would you still make Dear You if you could go back and redo it?
No one's asked that question yet. I'm really surprised. Good question.
Oh really? Are you excited?
Could you answer that for us? Had we to do it again, I don't know, that's a tough one. It really is. But I think we've talked about it before, and we said, yeah, we probably would make the same. I'm not gonna say mistakes.
Thank fucking God.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
I probably would have done more sleazy stuff, because I could have. Like, there was a lot of things being offered, and I probably would take advantage of those.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Okay. So there was a show that y'all played in Phoenix Theater in Petaluma with Mr. T Experience and Sam I Am. So me and this man were there. And between the set you said this song goes out to the East Bay, this song goes out to the West Bay, this song goes out to the North Bay. And then I said, what about San Jose? And then you said, fuck San Jose.
Still fuck San Jose.
Because we had like driven like
I'm really still a little iffy on the whole East Bay thing, personally.
Mark, dude, we were at Marsugi's. Shut up. We were at Marsugi's. You were probably there.
We drove there like an hour or something.
Yeah.
And we broke down on the way over there.
No, he said he put in Marsugi's.
Yeah, we're okay.
Sam I Am.
We're good. We're good with you guys.
It was Sam I Am, Steel Pole Bathtub, and us playing to Sam I Am, Steel Pole Bathtub, and us.
So I was just wondering where that stemmed from.
Do you still live in San Jose?
No,
Yes.
I live here now.
No, he lives here.
I live here now.
We live in San Jose.
None of these people care.
I just always wondered. That's like one of the most like I've seen you guys like 8 or 9 times, and that was the one moment I was just like, what happened in San Jose? So what made you like just go like?
Nothing happens in San Jose. That's the problem.
But at that point, I just had no idea. So I heard you guys had played at Marsugi's on the corner.
Yeah.
That's South Government South First Street. Or South First
I think he
Street.
played San Jose twice though.
We're just going for laughs, you know? Don't
Is there
take
a
it
question
personally.
mark
We're just
on that
going.
one?
Yeah, but what happened with those Advent Centers days that made you do it?
Nothing.
Nothing till now.
All right.
Next question.
Next person. Yes, go for it.
Are you guys writing any new music?
We're trying. I mean, we have a couple new songs.
The biggest problem we have is the way we're doing this. We usually the practices we have are usually like the two days before like the show. We just came from practice, and so we tried to do some stuff in May and April, and basically ended up learning more of our old songs. We have some ideas, but you got to write like 24 good songs, bad songs, before you have like 5 good ones. So it's gonna be a while.
Chris has great parts that he brought in, though.
Yeah.
Let's have a little more tepid applause for parts.
Okay, there's people way in the back.
In 1996, I was in the military. I joined in '95. I had the typical girlfriend broke up, moved from Texas to Hawaii, and
Again, we're not doing testimonials, dude. I'm kidding. No, keep going. Keep
I
going.
wrote you guys a letter, and Adam, you wrote me back, and it was a long letter, and I really appreciated that. I was just wondering if people still write you letters, and if any of y'all are willing to write back. I know Blake wouldn't, but I was wondering if
Oh, boy!
What's your name?
Gene Garcia.
And I mean, if people wrote letters, yeah, we hear through, like you guys do, Instagram and Facebook and the website.
Never heard of it.
But I don't, it's rare we get a letter. Be cool. Maybe I should get a P.O. box again.
Gmail.
And probably the reason why I wrote that was because it was just in my pile, and Chris had his pile, and Blake had his pile.
You included a bunch of stickers. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Totally. Got you.
Way back.
There's
From the
another-
way back.
Another way back, yes.
Hi, I have two questions. One, less importantly, will you ever make it up to Providence, Rhode Island? Blake was supposed to play there a few years ago and he canceled on us.
My dad lives in Wickford. We'd love to be. Well, I don't know if we can make Providence. We're trying to make the Northeast like Boston or something, ideally at some point in the future. But that's way out. I mean, we still got. Yeah.
We had our worst show in the history in Providence, Rhode Island. Remember?
Yeah.
We're cooler now.
No,
Oh, no, it wasn't Providence. It was us.
Yeah, I love
played
Providence.
awful.
As a town, it's great.
We miss you. But my second question is, why Riot Fest to come back? What did Riot Fest offer y'all?
If you've heard all the rumors are probably true. If that's what they were cool. I liked a lot of the bands on that bill. What about you guys?
We had a great time.
I don't think it was the festival, it was more the timing in our own lives.
Yeah.
It just happened that they had been persistent, I think, in asking.
Yeah.
And then it so happened that we wanted to play together, wanted to try it, and those things kind of coincided, so it was the happiest of moments.
Coincidences.
Is that similar to how the show came together here, where it was just a lot of persistence from Long Center and from Margin Walker and those guys? I'm just curious about how tomorrow's happening.
No, I mean, we always had a great, I'm not pandering, but we always came through Austin and played emos. And,
Yeah.
It was a no-brainer, like, where's your first Texas show gonna be? It was definitely gonna be here, for sure. In fact, there was a chance, they were like, do you wanna play Houston and then Austin? And I said, well, this gentleman notwithstanding, I said, no, we gotta go to Austin first.
Word.
We're also like, to be clear, if you've noticed the way we're doing things, it's not like we're touring per se. I mean, we go home. I like spending the better part of my month with my wife and my cats. And admit that freely. I love coming out and playing shows. But I like the way it's done. 1 week, come practice, come play someplace cool, meet a bunch of cool people, go home.
Up here? That was kind of
Oh yeah, go for it. What's your question?
I was gonna ask y'all if y'all still toured in a small band, but y'all are kind of just flying in and out for the most part now, right?
Yeah, we don't have a van or anything.
Probably has a lot to do with us getting along much better.
Yay.
But it kind of goes back to the first question, in a way of what would you do differently? Okay, first of all, like, the world is ending. So that if we're all clear about that, then why hurry? And because, we knocked ourselves out trying to do what was expected of us when we were on Geffen, doing like opening for bigger bands, tours, and things that were really counterproductive in the long run. And now that we're in a place where we can kind of go and play a show and put all our energy into that, or 2 shows. We're doing it because we can. It's just a much saner way to operate. There's no applause necessary. Please hold it till the end.
And Chris, you mentioned what you do in your time between shows. So Blake, what do you do between getting these gigs?
I go to the YMCA in Brooklyn every day.
Look at the guns.
I dropped some pounds since Riot Fest. I saw the footage and I was like, Jesus, Blake, like you gotta rein it in a little bit.
Is lifting you playing pickup? What are you doing?
No, I'm a solitary. I compete against myself.
That is the important battle. And
A raging psychic showdown.
as long as you have someone to spot you, that's important. That's really the. And Adam, what about you? What do you do between shows?
I'm like Captain Willard in Apocalypse Now. I just lay there and wait for a mission. And for my sins, they give me them.
So because I was talking to Chris, your tour manager, before this about your video store, about Lost Weekend,
Yes.
and the way that it's kind of folded into working at the new Mission Alamo. I was wondering if you could talk about running a
Right.
video store for almost 20 years.
This is very familiar to me because this is where I go to work. In San Francisco, I have a video store that Tim from the Alamo invited us to be in their lobby. So my video store is in the lobby of the Alamo Draft House in San Francisco. But you know, for real, between playing, I just go work shifts at my video store. I just make change and you know, give my opinions about movies.
Good. I do that too. Another question, right over there.
Picking out your set list for the show, are there any shows or any songs that you don't want to play anymore? Any particular songs?
We're not doing Freebird. We're not doing.
No, I mean, there were songs back in the day that we didn't do because, I mean, we didn't want.
Hey fellas, please, you guys asked a question before. This gentleman has one. We want to make sure that they get to ask everything, but you guys can ask another question later. But let's let this guy ask his question.
So yeah, there's songs you grow out of, beyond, whatever, you know, that we wouldn't do because, and there's songs that, well, Adam will say that he can play every song. I will say that I can't play some. I will admit, I've had hand surgery and there's just some stuff I can't play.
I definitely can't sing some songs that require like the 26-year-old voice. You know.
We're more like 23.
Go for it.
So is it with the animosity that you guys?
Oh, in the balcony. Oh.
I didn't even know
You're
there was
by
a
the light.
balcony.
You're just.
Didn't even remember
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
on this one right now.
I didn't even know there was a balcony up there.
With the animosity that ended the band, is it inspiring or overwhelming when you see people covering your songs on YouTube, or like hearing Ben Nichols cover "Kiss the Bottle"? And like, is it inspiring or is it overwhelming that people that probably never saw you live are now just super inspired by everything that you did, and they're touched by the songs that you guys actually wrote?
It's cool. No, seriously. I mean, honestly, I having not been involved in music for so long, being like a food bank administrator and working nonprofits and doing grad work, and being outside of it for so long and not even realizing, not being aware of what was happening, and then seeing all this, and especially in relationship to the movie, it's like, oh, okay, that's good. I made a difference. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anyone would feel good about that, even if you don't like their version of your song. It's still it's nice to be. I can say this now that we're playing. It's nice to be remembered in the interim, certainly.
Yeah, it's not overwhelming as much as surreal, I think, for me.
And there's the one person who we thought was that one, but it's not you, sir.
Gentlemen, yes.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, as you guys are starting to play it together again, what was like the
one song that just kind of jumped out to be like, holy cow, I missed playing this song? Or when did it like click?
It's a great question. Also, you have a great question asking voice. Right in the frequency.
Sweet spot. For me it was accident.
For me, it was Jet Black, because I wrote a guitar solo for the updated version, like JB 2.0, and I've learned some like techniques since back in the 90s. You'll see tomorrow night.
Actually, there's a whole bunch of stuff off of Dear You that I had completely forgotten had interesting bass lines. I was like, no, there's no interesting bass lines there. And I'm like, oh, wait a second, I'm playing ridiculously there. Okay, that's fun. Okay, that sounds good.
Awesome. We have time for, let's say, about 3 more questions. We'll go with you right there, Miss.
I feel like contextually I got into Jawbreaker in a different way than most people in the room. Like, I listen to all your records and I love them, but like I don't know anything about y'all besides like this movie. So I listened to all your albums and I've seen this movie, but that was like 10 years ago. What do you guys feel most excited that you've done in like the past 10 years? I've not necessarily researched on the internet. It doesn't have to be music related. So like, what are you like most excited that you did? It can be silly.
That we did, like on our own.
Individuals, yeah.
I'm pretty proud of just keeping alive and like getting my shit together over the last 4 years. I stopped drinking 2 years ago, and I never thought I would stop drinking for a month, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, I think mutual sobriety has a lot to do with coming together on the same page. For me, it's 8 years.
Yeah.
And also a lot of the nonprofit work. It's tough, it's hard, but if you want to make a difference in the world, try to help people who you might not necessarily like, but who need the help, who need food, who need hangouts, who need stuff.
Like, I guess, do you mean like personally like that? You know, there's a lot. I mean, obviously you saw some of my family in there and stuff, and I've been raising kids forever. But, which I'm insanely proud of, but otherwise, yeah, that's a good question. So so this is 10 years ago. The latest footage in this movie is 10 years ago. But, so yeah, just doing that, you know, raising my kids, and then also playing a lot. You know, people have been saying to me, isn't it great to be back, you know, but all 3 of us never stopped playing music. It's just that, I mean, Blake went on to some great success, and Chris did too. But
Moderate success, let's.
Well, me too, very moderate success. I did stop playing music for a while.
But I like the way you think of me.
But like I've been in a bunch of bands ever since, because when you're a drummer, you get asked to sit in a lot. So I've been not, I'm not gonna say grinding it out, but I never stopped playing. So I have to remind people that, as proud as I am of us being back together, I'm also proud of myself for never hanging it up, for always playing, even when it didn't pay, and even when it was fucking thankless.
Yeah.
Because this is, and I found this out maybe in the last 10 years, that this kind of stuff, this is not just what I do, but it's who I am, and that took a while to get to. And it took people who were artists, like my sister, who kind of stole the show, to tell me like, oh, you're an artist, you create things, that's what you are, and to really own that. So I'm proud of that.
Yes, sir, right there.
Do you each have a favorite band that you guys have toured with?
I must admit to the fact that I pushed really hard to play with Waxahachie.
I used I used to like play. We always kind of got to handpick our whatever openers. So they're all great, especially towards the end. But I like playing with like the Smoking Popes and those guys.
I can't think of one right now.
All right. Final question. This one's gonna be the
more
one.
favorites tough.
Knock me again.
No, you sir with the light that you're flashing.
Between you guys breaking up and then you guys hanging out in the studios, that little clip where you guys were playing sounded amazing. Did you guys find yourselves like in your downtime playing music, never stopping playing music, just like jamming out by yourself to old songs that you guys had written, or is it kind of like, oh dang, I haven't played this song in X amount of years, like how did this go again, or was it just second nature to jump back into it?
So I will confess, I know I myself, when we started getting ready for this, I had to look up guitar tabs on the right. To figure out how some of the songs were. I didn't listen to a lot of Jawbreaker because it's like looking at yourself in the mirror. I don't do that. It's a solid system. So yeah.
Yeah, I was the same way. I looked up a lot of like basic structure, chords, keys, and then but I found like the more, I think we all did, the more we played together, the more the little eccentricities of our own unique playing came back through muscle memory. Those things started to kick back in. You're like, oh right, that's that weird guitar phrase that only I could play because I was never taught formally. Like your instructor would be like, oh, first thing you gotta do is teach you not to do that. That's pretty much my technique.
Kids might have got that one wrong.
I think there was a time when we got off. Because I was kind of holding the Jawbreaker fort down and doing all of the like the reissues and having that stuff remastered. I lived with this music, I think, probably more than these guys did. So it was always in here, and it just kind of became part of my DNA or something. And I remember one time we got offered to play at like one of those big festivals like Coachella or some big festival. They would ask every year since we broke up if we wanted to do this, and I would have to politely decline. But I remember at some point, like 5 years out, they offered, and I just, for the fuck of it, I was like, I put the headphones on, it's like, could I even do this anymore? Could I even play that way for an hour? And I remember trying to do it, and it was really hard.
So yeah, for this stuff, I mean, we practiced for almost a whole year going into Riot Fest.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, and we tried to keep
For 6 months at least, right?
April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, 5-6 months.
Yeah. For like a long, we go for a week and we play for 5 hours or 6 hours a day.
Every day.
They do a lot of push-ups.
Oh my God, it's excruciating. No, but now I feel like we're back to right where we were when we left off. Honestly,
You guys are amazing at Riot Fest.
Thank you.
And you guys are going to be amazing tomorrow. And just want to, on behalf of
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming to the movie.